Cartoon Obsession. Hello everybody, my name is Nathan, and I am the man with a cartoon obsession. I'm going to do something a little different with today's video because I'll be tackling two reviews in one as we talk about the new Netflix specials Rocko's Modern Life Static Cling and Invader ZIM Enter the Florpus. I was debating whether I should review these individually or try to compare and contrast them, and I just couldn't decide, so I'm going to do a little bit of both. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Both of these specials were originally set to premiere on Nickelodeon, much like Hey Arnold the Jungle Movie did nearly 2 years ago. There were trailers released for both of these specials in 2017, and we just kept waiting and waiting for a premiere date to be announced, but we never heard anything. That is, until May 10th, 2019, when it was announced that Netflix had acquired the distribution rights to both specials. Static Cling premiered on August 9th, 2019, and Enter the Florpus premiered a week later on August 16th. Of course, I loved both shows growing up, although I only ever got to watch reruns of Rocko's Modern Life because the series ended only a month or so after I was born, fun fact. Since I already mentioned Rocko's Modern Life, let's talk about Static Cling.
Rocko's Modern Life.
This special picks up where the series left off with Rocko, Filbert, and Heifer lost in space. However, after being out in space for 20 years, they finally return to O-Town, which is now set in a modern-day society. There are a lot of new things for the trio to discover, such as never-ending upgraded smartphones, food trucks, coffee shops on every corner, and more. There's a lot of change in the world, and Rocko just can't handle it as well as the others can. He reaches his breaking point when he finds out his favorite show, The Fatheads, is no longer on the air, and when Conglommo goes bankrupt and Ed Bighead needs to come up with a way to save O-Town, Rocko and friends go on a quest to find Ralph Bighead and revive the Fatheads. In case you haven't seen the special yet, I won't spoil the rest of the elements of the story, but I will say there are even more changes. This special really just feels like an episode of Rocko's Modern Life. The humor is there, the original voice cast is there, the art style is basically the same as it was in the 90s, just touched up and modernized. And my favorite part of this special is the use of the fourth wall and how self-aware it is.
There's a huge audience out there clamoring for this show to come back, and whoever gives it to them is going to make millions. No, billions!
That really adds to the special for me, and it helps make it feel like the characters grew up with you. I love just about everything about Static Cling. The only issue I have with it is a similar issue I had with Hey Arnold the Jungle Movie. In that movie, the setting was in modern times as well, but the characters didn't seem to acknowledge how much time had passed, even though they showed things like the introduction of smartphones and beepers being obsolete. In Static Cling, however, they do acknowledge how much time has gone by, and there are a lot of changes, but there are no signs of the characters actually aging, except for one or two instances, but I just found that to be inconsistent. That's only a small nitpick though. I'll save my rating until the end of the video because I still have more things to say when I compare and contrast these two specials. But let's move on to Invader ZIM Enter the Florpus. This special pretty much picks up where the series left off as well, as it is mentioned that Zim has been gone for a long time and Dib has become a recluse because he's waiting for Zim to return. Of course he does, and reveals that he's been sitting on the toilet the whole time plotting his most evil scheme to please the tallest. Dib of course goes on a quest to try and stop Zim and save the world from him once again. He also wants to get his father to believe that aliens are indeed real. Again, to avoid spoiling too much for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, I'm going to stop explaining the story here. This special features the original voice cast as well, which is always awesome. For those of you who are unaware, Richard Steven Horvitz is one of my favorite voice actors of all time, and I've always loved how over-the-top his performances are. It really feels like he's getting into his character.
From the moment my mission began on this horrible planet, you've been there, haunting my every move like a squack in my schmoop squiz.
A what in your huh?
The art style looks good too. I can't quite place my finger on it, but it feels a bit different from the art style of the original series, but that could just be the fact that it's more clean and modernized. There's also some good humor in Enter the Florpus. The funniest parts to me are when the characters justify such small details, because most cartoons don't usually do that sort of thing.
I was in bad shape, then I got 2 in shape, now I'm back to normal shape!
It does recapture the magic of Invader ZIM for the most part, but quite honestly, I don't think the payoff is all that satisfying. The ending feels weak to me, and that kind of takes away some of the enjoyment for me. But I still think that the special is strong overall.
Earth is safe.
And now for a little compare and contrast. Both of these specials pick up where their respective series left off. The only difference is Enter the Florpus never specified how much time has passed, which is fine. That's not really a big deal. Both of these specials are also animated wonderfully. The art looks great, and they did a really good job making these specials look like updated versions of the cartoons. Both of these specials have their original voice casts and characters, except I will say I was kind of bummed that Ms. Bitters doesn't appear in Enter the Florpus, but I understand why, due to the passing of Lucille Bliss, her voice actor from the series back in 2012. Both specials occasionally reference the show and have some quality humor. As for some differences, Static Cling focuses on an underlying message about dealing with change, whereas Enter the Florpus doesn't really have an underlying message. You could argue Dib trying to get his dad to believe him about aliens existing is the underlying message, but I don't think I'd look that far into it. Following the theme of the underlying message, Static Cling does show that a lot of changes have been made to the world in which the show takes place. In Enter the Florpus, everything is more or less the same, except for Dib's appearance at the beginning, but that doesn't last for the whole special. And of course, the biggest difference, but this is a personal thing, is the fact that Static Cling had a satisfying conclusion, whereas Enter the Florpus just didn't feel like it wrapped everything up well enough. And I am hoping that these specials are the official endings to both shows. I would rather not see either of them have a full reboot series. As for the specials though, I give Static Cling an 89 out of 100, and Enter the Florpus a 77 out of 100. Static Cling was the stronger special in my opinion, and I should also mention that I liked Rocko's Modern Life just a little more than Invader ZIM, but I loved both cartoons growing up, and I thought both of these specials were good. If you're an avid fan of either show, I highly recommend that you watch them if you haven't already.
Pepper and I went gluten-free. I've reunited with my lovely wife.
Hi, Rocko.
I've upgraded, accessorized, and interfaced my platform, plus reset and forgotten so many passwords. I think I'm going viral.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out some more videos, follow me on my social media pages, submit outro auditions, and join the official Cartoon Obsession Discord. All of those links are in the description below. Let me know if you have any ideas for other cartoons, anime, or any animated work you would like me to review. Remember, it's not my channel, it's our channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Oh, well, blow me down. This is Popeye, and thank you for watching Cartoon Obsession.